Hi there, I'm Michael Bovee. Thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel, DebtBytes. Today, I want to talk about finding debt collectors, inquiries from debt collectors on your credit reports. And why do they get to do that, right? You might have a credit card that you haven't paid. It's to Chase Bank, for example, and they're reporting that you're late and that you're charged off even because it's been more than 6 months since you stopped paying them. And yet you're finding little inquiries, not from Chase, but on the inquiry section of your credit report from some debt collector like Altran, a really big contingency debt collector, for example. Why do they get to do that? Well, it's for the fact that they have a permissible purpose. They are seen to have a permissible purpose because they're trying to collect on an existing account from you. It's kind of like there's a permissible purpose for lenders to send you offers, like pre-approved offers, like, hey, you meet this criteria, we think you're going to get approved, go ahead and apply and see what happens. So they get to do that. Debt collectors that are buying your debt, they're going to enter a whole new trade line, a collection account. Say in this example, Chase sells a debt to one of the large debt buyers in the country, and then suddenly now Chase is going to report a zero balance owed to them because they no longer have a legal right to collect. So they still get to stay on there as a negative. Now this new debt buyer is going to have a trade line and it's going to have an amount owed to them. So it's not necessarily double jeopardy. It kind of feels like it though because you have two negatives. So this new debt buyer has a permissible purpose to be on your credit report. So it's not just about inquiries anymore. It's about who can get the information and access to your credit report for those permissible purposes. Anybody that you owe an account or anybody that you owe money to, have an account with, who's trying to maybe even collect on those accounts. And these inquiries are what are called soft. They're not hard inquiries. When you go out and apply for a new loan and you sign off and say, here, I'm applying for this, and either click a button and agree to it online or you're signing a document, that's a hard inquiry. And too many of those in a certain period of time, they stay on for 2 years on your credit report. Too many is recognized to be, it's going to knock your score down. These other inquiries from debt collectors that are called soft inquiries or soft pulls, those aren't really hurting your score, and they can do them a lot, sometimes monthly. It's obnoxious. But so here's the thing. When you are doing some things like that, and we have another video up about this, you can see it linked above. It's with a former debt collector, good friend of mine and associate, and we cover it in more detail there. But if you care about your credit to the point that you're starting to look at these things and start to try and resolve debt, and the things that you're doing are actually going to start appearing on your credit, but you have unresolved debt still, they're all paying attention. There's also something they can do with this permissible purpose is they can set alerts, right? Throw something like, how these credit bureaus have information for us to pull. They actually have information for the collections agencies and creditors to pull too. It's a paid thing, right? And that's how they make money, is providing those details and alerts, like TransUnion's famous for, to debt collectors, debt buyers, your bank, and they can see when you're up to something, when you're trying to improve your overall situation. Like, okay, fine, you have debts in collection, you had some setbacks, but now it's pretty evident that things have bounced back for you, and you might see new efforts to collect from you that had quieted down for some time, if enough time's gone by for it to be quiet. Suddenly now it's not, because you applied for something and they can see that. You settled a debt and it got updated to your credit report like it's supposed to be, like it's resolved and no longer an unpaid account, and they look at you as somebody who's now exhibiting willingness and ability to pay. So be aware that inquiries are normal, soft inquiries, hard inquiries, that everybody is paying attention normally if your debt is collectible still, and act accordingly. See you on the next video.